Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're going to go through my favourite 5 champions per faction. These champions are ones that you should definitely max if you've got them in your rosters. Champions that are going to help you with faction wars and other areas of the game. If you want like more in-depth stuff about Raid and want to kind of delve further, you can come to hellhades.com. I'll pin it below and you can check out the latest articles that we're writing. You can check out our tier lists, our beginner guides, all that type of stuff. Come and check it out. Really cool sites. So let's get into this then. What I'm going to do is just pick up a faction at a time, throw out the champions that are my personal favourites and ones which I think will give you a lot of support getting through the game. Bannerlords. Honestly, there's not a single rare in here that I would call out as, nowhere near my top 5. Dagger's the only one that's anywhere close to epics and legendaries in this faction. So who are my top 5? One I do not have. Helmet, Mr. Archmage. You can only get him through Doom Tower normal. He is worth the effort. I've not done him because I've been doing hard most of the time and I've not done Doom Tower a lot of the time. But Helmet is insanely strong. Such a good champion. Crazy base stats. He's the ultimate support. What's he bringing? He's got a bit of turn meter fill on his A1. He has got AoE attack here with the chance to stun on his A2. It's very rare to get people with AoE abilities that stun. Not only does he stun, he also decreases turn meter of enemies where he doesn't land a stun. So he's either stopping them in their tracks or he's pushing them backwards. Absolutely insane. Kind of for any content, but especially good for the arena. And then he's got crazy buffs on his A3 as well. Such a great team support. He also hits kind of hard. And he cannot be turn meter changed, affected. So I think that's the only champion that can do that. But anyway, fantastic, epic, worth your time in the Doom Tower for this guy. Number 2 on this list is going to be Stag Knight. And this isn't like number 2 is my second favourite. I'm just calling out 5. Stag Knight is awesome. Such a good epic. I would say definitely worth your books here on his A2. Kind of worth them on the A1 as well. But if you do land books on the A2, you could probably stop there. Again, fantastic stats. Really good base speed. Really good base health. Okay base defense. But this A2 is what it's all about. If you book this to a 3-turn cooldown, you've got decreased defense, which is how you make people take more damage that you're hitting. Decreased attack means they're doing less damage to you. He's kind of good just anywhere in dungeon content, faction war, Doom Tower, anywhere where you need to be slamming people harder. This guy comes up good. He's also got a decreased speed on his A1 and it's a double hitter. Makes it really good for bosses. Putting decreased speed on the bosses, making them move slower, just means that the rest of your team are going to get more turns in. Very, very good champion. He's got a passive as well, which allows you to proc and increase accuracy if you miss a debuff. But that's kind of like a Brucey bonus. Otherwise, easily, I mean, he's probably number 1 or 2 in the whole faction for me. But awesome, awesome champion. So the next one on my list for Bannerlords is going to be Ursula the Mourner. What an epic this is. This is basically a legendary. So it's a void epic, hard to get, yes. Good base stats again. She is really, really cool. So bit of turn meter decrease on her A1. It's okay. You don't really care about this that much. AoE ability on her A2. She, if booked out, and I would book her if you got a 100% chance of placing decreased attack. Great. People are going to hit you for less. Also boost the damage of your allies. Great. You're going to hit them for more. Really good combo on her A2. But this is what she's all about. And it's pretty nuts. Revives all dead allies with 3/4 of their health and half their turn meter. This is better than kind of nearly every legendary revive. Just that alone, health and turn meter. If you've got high HP champions, then they're going to be coming back and it's as if they've just started the game. Everyone's going to be like, I've used all my big stuff. I thought they were dead. They're not dead. They're back. She's also gives you at the same time increased defense and strengthen for 3 turns. Strengthen, strongest buff in the game. Increased defense makes you harder to kill. It's an insane revive. You see this champion being played at plat level arena reset. Very, very strong champion. So yeah, one of the best epics. Certainly one of the best void epics in the game. So on to my 2 others. We're going to call out Septimus. Of course we are. He's probably my favourite champion in the game. He hits harder than anyone else. He can one-shot the spider if you build him as an absolute lunatic. And he's got this A2, which has got an enemy max HP ability. When it procs alongside his passive, which makes him do 30% more damage to people that have got more than half health, he hits like an absolute freight train. He's also got this A1 that's got a reset ability on it as well. So he starts shotgunning people, basically taking one down, then the next, then the next. He's such a fun champion in this game. Get his crit rate to 100, get his crit damage through the roof, and you will see some silly old numbers. If you want to play him in Clan Boss, you can as well, because he hits hard with that A2, and he's got a chance to increase debuffs on a target. Septimus, probably my favourite champion. Okay, last one up is going to be Sethalia. Who would have thought I would have said Sethalia in this list? She's a really good champion. So she's kind of like a Madame Cerise. She rips all the buffs off enemies with her A3. I've been sleeping on Sethalia for a while, really. I knew she was decent, but I think she's absolutely top tier. So at the same time as ripping all those buffs off the enemies, she boosts your turn meter. She's one of the best arena go second champions in the game because she's setting up your damage dealers to have you can lower their speed so that therefore you can increase their damage. She also has got this A2 that cleanses debuffs off of you. So if you think about some of the hard fights in the game, Spider, Agref, I don't know, Scarab King, like most of the boss fights where they throw debuffs on you, she can cleanse them off, she heal you at the same time, and then she puts a block debuffs on one ally. Very, very cool. She's got an HP burn on her A1 as well, which is decent. Crazy base stats. Very high speed, very high defense, high HP. She's hard to kill. She's easy to keep alive. She's fast. She's really, really cool. So there you go. Bannerlord's done. Let's move on to the Night Elves. So Night Elves is tough. Tough to pick 5. What a faction this is. Now, I cannot really pick a 5 without picking out Apothecary just because he brings so much value for a rare. He's not a top 5 champion of the faction. Let's get that straight. Like if I had to pick between Apothecary and Lysandra for a speed champion, I'm picking Lysandra all day long. But for a rare, he's so good. High base stats again. He's got the speed boost and speed fill, turn meter fill, which is good. He's got a heal which can crit. Basically, if you've got a bit of a crit rate on him, he can full heal your teammates. And he's got a triple hit A1, which is kind of okay. I don't love that it's at random, but it is. Can't have it all. He's just like a sturdy, can play in any dungeon type of champion, can play in any team, can come into Clan Boss if you need it as well. Just like a steady Eddie, great rare. Basically fits in line with like top tier epics. So he's up there as one of the 5. Now, it gets very, very difficult. So I can't call out this list without talking Royal Guard. Royal Guard, a bit like Septimus, king of the slams, but he does it on an AoE basis. So you can literally just cruise through high health waves and nuke them into the ground. Against Spider, one of the hardest hitters on that dungeon. Also brings decreased speed and decreased turn meter. A lot of people don't realize this about Royal Guard. He has got a crazy A3. Decreased turn meter, decreased speed. Each hit, 60% chance. Like, if you don't put it on there, then what are you doing? You basically got no accuracy. And he's got decreased defense as well and an A1. Such a good champion. Really, really solid champion. Easy up there as my top 5. So that's 2 down. Now, again, you can't really call out a list like this without talking about Tyrell. He's probably still the top. Is he the top epic? No, he's still got to be a top 5 epic, even though he's old school. And there's been loads and loads of great epics that have come through the mix. Maybe he's not top 5 anymore, but I tell you what, he's still super good. So, AoE decrease defense. If there's already decreased attack on them, then he can put them to sleep as well. 100% chance to place an AoE decreased defense is crucial for a lot of your teams. Crazy base defense, good HP, okay base speed. He brings a defense in all battles aura, one of the best auras in the game. He's got a decreased attack on his A1 with a decent chance to land it. Double hit, each hit, if booked, 50% chance to land. All of his damage is based on defense, and you can make him do good hits. He can be a high damage dealer for you if you build his defense up. What does that also mean? High defense, also means that he's going to be tanky. So hard hits and hard to kill. And then he's got this A3, which has got a turn meter decrease. Great for Spider. Great for all bosses, really, apart from Dragon. And a chance to stun on normal waves. You don't get this out there that often. If you do land it, though, it's a 2-turn stun, which is super rare. There's only a handful of champions that do a 2-turn stun. So if you imagine stun, you can't be woken up. You're just literally there bowing down for the next 2 turns. It's crazy. So Tyrell in there as a top 5. Now I've got to pick 2 of these legendaries to complete the top 5. And honestly, I could pick Shiramani. I could pick Lysandra. I could probably even pick Yannicka. All as really strong champions in this faction. But I'm going to pick 2 that I've got. Ethos. What a champion. One of the hardest hitting AoE champions in the game. Like I think it's top 5 on paper. And in reality, he's got 2 massive AoE swings. His A3 and his A2. And he's got an A1, which hits hard to a single target and also gives him a chance to get an extra turn. And because he gets that extra turn fairly regularly, he's able to kind of reset and do these AoEs again pretty fast. High base attack. He's actually got very low base defense. So he's quite hard to keep alive if you don't build him well. But honestly, if he gets a go, people aren't hitting him anyway because they're all dead. He's super strong. He's used in endgame arena. He's probably the best, if not, probably the best campaign farmer if you're trying to farm Nightmare campaign. He can farm 12-6 Nightmare campaign as fast as most champions farm 12-3 Brutal. That's how insane he is. One of the best champions in the game for damage. And then we've got Arbiter. We can't really call out a top 5 without her. She's in probably 80%, 90%, 95%, I don't know, arena teams in the game. She's one of the top 3 most played champions in the game. And for good reason. You get her as part of your missions. And what a crazy champion. Great base stats. AoE revive. Remember I talked about an AoE revive earlier with Ursula? We're talking half the health of Ursula, less than half the turn meter of Ursula. That's how good she was. Yeah, but Arbiter's is very good as well because she also gets an extra turn. And if you time it well, you time it with this A3, get more turn meter fill, and you get increased attack. And it's almost like we were all dead, now we're back in the game and we're coming at you with our nukes. So she's very cool for that. She does bring a weaken. Most people kind of sleep on the fact that she's got a weaken, which is cool. A double hit here, which is good for Fire Knight. And she's got the ability to cleanse off 1 layer of enemy buffs. But you pretty much just want to build a speedy, tanky. If you can get accuracy into a build as well, even better. She's got a speed arena aura. One of the best in the game. Second best. Yeah, solid champions. So that's my top 5 for the High Elves. Okay, then let's move on to the Sacred Order. Sacred Order, we're going for a top 5 champions here. Again, looking at the rares, can anyone break into this top 5? Quite honestly, no. Purgator hits really hard if he's got debuffs on him. One of the hardest hitting rares in the game. Solaris is okay. Aethel is cool. But top 5, no chance. So, who are we calling out here? This is hard. There's a load of trash in here. Trash. Okay, trash. You know, very solid. Trash. She's not trash. I just hate her. But who can make a top 5? So, a recent addition to my game, I guess. Phoenix. He's been in the game forever. But I've only just realised how insane he is. So, this block revive on his A1, I love it. It's very, very cool for Ice Golem if you're struggling to get past those big bad boy ads on the Ice Golem. So he hits them again if they've got any debuffs and they can't be revived. And it hits hard. It's a really hard hitting ability. He's got an AoE ability on his A2, block buffs, block cooldown skills, 2 of the best debuffs in the game. Put block buffs on champions nowadays and they're in trouble. There's so many ads, so many waves where they've got multiple buffs. It's a really cool ability. And then he's got a chance on a single target to decrease defense and speed. Brilliant for boss fights. It hits very hard. I really love him. And to be honest, for the top 5, it was a toss-up between him and Talia. He came through for me slightly ahead. So the second one on the list in the epics is going to be Inquisitor Shamal. When I first played with this guy, I was a bit like, I thought his kit sounded cool, He hit hard, but I didn't really know where he would fit into the game. It turns out he's fitting into the game, Super Endgame Arena and Doom Tower. And he is basically a tank killer, a nuker. He can kill anybody in the game. So what we got? A1, 50% chance of decreasing the duration of a random buff. Okay, fine. Counterattacks with this each time an enemy places a debuff on an ally. Think about that. That happens so much in this game. So whenever you're getting debuffed, he comes out and slams someone with an A1. These counterattacks only deal 50% normal damage, can't crit. So his A1 is good, but really it's his A2. So triple hit, ignores 25% target defense, ignores another 25% for each buff on this champion. So you buff him up with 3 buffs. He's ignoring 100% defense. As I say, tank killer. And there's so many places in this game now where defense is ramped up super high. And I'd imagine when we get to level 25 dungeons, he's going to be even more valuable. Places a true fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if he kills someone. If he doesn't kill someone, you've built him wrong. Simple as that. And he's got this passive as well. Each critical hit fills his turn meter. Whenever an ally receives a fear or a true fear, this skill instantly removes the debuff. So again, like if you're up against waves of enemies that are putting fear on you, or in the arena where fears are coming out, instead of the fears coming out, he cleans them off and he gives you a bit of turn meter fill as well. Very cool champion. I really like him. Doom Tower accuracy aura, good base speed, okay base attack. He's got great multipliers anyway, so don't worry about that. Really, really good champion. So that's 2. Now, you can see all the great legendaries here, but damn, Godseeker Aniri. What another great epic we've got here. So it's very hard to pick 5 in this faction, but I'm going to go with her because, firstly, she's gone through the mill. She's gone through the ringer. Look at her face. Damn, she's been in trouble. But yeah, she's got these cool tiny wings, which she's threaded through her little satchel part of her back there. Wicked looking sword. The skin's actually, if you look at the skin in detail, it's really, really good. Like, they've put so much work into this skin. It's one of my favourites, actually. Even with those puny wings. Wicked looking shield. Look at this. Just stop for a second and appreciate the detail. But anyway, what does she do? She's got a bit of a heal on her A1. Okay. AoE attack on her A2. Heals all allies for 15% of their max HP. It's a big heal on her A2. Decreases the duration of all buffs on enemies. Increases your buffs. What a skill that is on her A2. People don't appreciate how big this is. Increasing your buffs, decreasing their buffs, heal, all in one move, and it's a hit. So much going on with that skill. And it's based on defense as well. So you build a tanky, you get your damage. And then A3, revive an ally with good amount of turn meter, good amount of HP, and reset all of their cooldowns. It's a huge revive. So, you know, your damage dealer, they've gone out there, they've done their nukes, they sat down because they didn't quite finish the job. She'll pick them back up. They've got half of their turn meter. They've got all their skills back again. They're coming back at you. Really, really cool revive ability. And she's got this passive, increases amount of healing by 10%. Active ability. If an ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, preempts that and places revive on death on them for 1 turn before the damage is taken. Again, it's an insane ability. It's an insane passive. Someone who's about to die, oh no, they're coming back again. It's almost like a double revive. Really cool champion. So we're on to Legendaries then. We're going to pick 2 out here. Wow, this is hard. I've made this very hard because, damn, it is. There are some really, really good champions here. You could call out the Tower for his unkillable abilities. Marta used to be my favourite, or one of the best legendaries in the game. I feel like with Unkillable coming into the mix, she's taken quite a massive step down. She's still really good, but as soon as someone gets an Unkillable, Marta pretty much, lives in the vault, or people are trying to find a space for her in a team. So Nick is kind of super cool, but maybe a bit clumsy with his Unkillable. So anyway, who's going to be my top 2 out of these? I'm going to go Astralon. Probably surprised a lot of people here, but I love this champion. I think he's such a good champ. And I think for most people in the game, he's more valuable than those other ones. Maybe that's wrong. He looks super sweet, which maybe is kind of clouding my judgment. But AoE stun, AoE nuke on an A3, puts weaken out there as well, steals a bunch of buffs or removes a bunch of buffs. It's such a good skill. I really, really like this champion. He's got an ignore increased defense, strengthen an ally, protect on an A2. Hits pretty hard with a chance to revive someone. Very cool. And then he's got a decreased defense A1 as well. But really, really good legendary. I really like him. And I can't really not call out Cardiel. So again, we've called out a lot of the new champions here. And I do feel like there's been a bit of a power creep, certainly with Sacred Order. This champion is absolutely the nuts. And again, like, look at this skin. He looks insane. What a champion. He looks like he's from a different game. He's so cool. I love it. Anyway, True Fear on his A1 with a bit of healing. Very cool. Remove all debuffs, a full cleanse, puts block debuffs, revive on death on an A2. The important part about this one is it can't be removed. No cleansing that off. If it goes on, it's on. Those people are coming back to life. You haven't got a choice. It's happening. A3, throwing out a couple of the big damage buffs to all of the team. Decreases the cooldown of this skill by 1 turn if an enemy is killed from this attack. So it's like an ally attack ability plus big buffs. It's on a 4-turn cooldown anyway, but if you kill someone, it's a 3-turn cooldown, which is really, really cool. And then passive here, teams up with Cecilia, Flame Tongue. It's an okay passive. But yeah, speed in all battles, great base stats. He has to be in there for a top 5. So, on to Barbs. On to the Barbs. Now, we have got some contenders here for quality champions in the rares. But there are quality champions right through the mix. So, top 5. Soul Bond needs a shout out because she's quality. I don't think she can make top 5. War Maiden needs a shout out. Now, she was, the only person that could drop defense AoE in this team. So she always would have been called out as absolute top 5. Honorary mention War Maiden, honorary mention Soul Bond, but they can't go into top 5s here. There's too many great epics and great legendaries. So we're going to start with one of the great epics, Armina. Again, one of the newer champions. I said this in a video recently. I feel like there's been a bit of a power creep, but in epics in this game, more so than in legendaries. And Armenia is a good example of that. She throws out AoE decreased defense. It was really needed for this faction. But at the same time, she steals, not reduces or whatever, she steals 7.5% of the turn meter from targets under decreased defense. Pretty cool ability. So AoE decreased defense, 100% chance to land, 3-turn cooldown. We love a 3-turn cooldown. Decreased defense. She's got a chance to stun, pretty high chance actually, nearly 50% on an A1. And she's got decrease the turn meter of all enemies. Again, turn meter control, king in this game. 100% if you book her, chance to place a stun on enemies that have had their turn meter depleted. So as long as you've got accuracy in her build, she's doing an AoE stun, extremely rare in the game. 100% AoE stun, extremely rare. Turn meter reduction, decreased defense. She is a beast. And then a passive here as well. Fills this champion's turn meter by 10% each time an enemy receives a stun. Hello! Receiving stuns. Receiving stuns. What a beast of a champion. She's let down by her defense. It's very low. You can't see her staying alive for a long time if she starts taking hits. But if she's quick enough, nobody's getting a turn. She is doing so much work. Nobody is going to get a turn. So Armina, absolute top tier champion. Another top tier champion. Farakin the Fat. Hope I said that right, guys, for all the people that moan. It's not called Fakarin. I get it. We don't really care. He's an insane champion. I don't know why he's weighing himself down with these chains. It's only done he's got this kind of like Indiana Jones style whip. Super cool. He's got a brand, whatever. Anyway, this ally attack ability on his A3 is basically as strong as any legendary ally attacker. That's why he's so good. 4-turn cooldown, ally attack, all allies ally attack except himself. They all get increased crit rate and increased crit damage, extra damage. Very, very cool ability. He also brings a ton of utility. So he's got HP burn, he's got poison, He's got decreased defense. It's like so much in his kit. It's insane. Deflects 20% of incoming damage this champion receives onto allies. So it kind of spreads the damage he takes. I'm not really sure about this passive, but you know what? Keeps him alive easier. Crazy base speed. Okay base damage himself. But he's mainly about that ally attack and the quality of it. And all these debuffs he's bringing. So you do want accuracy on him, but you just want a ton of speed. You want to make sure that he's bringing his allies into the fray as often as possible. So Farakin in the mix. Now, I've got to pick 3 more. We know I can see 2 that I've got to pick. I kind of want to pick High Katoon because she's actually really, really cool. And she's free. So I'm going to pick her out. High Katoon comes into the mix. It's tight. You know what? It's tight. She's probably not better than a couple of legendaries. But in terms of her being free, you get her on day 30. And she's actually way more valuable than people give her credit for. As I said earlier, turn meter control is king in this game. She's got increased speed, increased turn meter. She's got decreased enemy turn meter. She's got decreased speed. She's got a speed aura. Like, there's not much more you can do in terms of turn meter control. She's also got a crazy base speed and good base stats. She's really good. She can play in end game teams for things like Scarab Boss, Spider, Ice Golem, Fire Knights. Like, she can play in a lot of spots. If you're struggling to get a counter-attack or an unkillable comp, she probably should be your lead for Clan Boss as well. So that increased speed here, the 19%, the increased turn meter feel, is all really good for Clan Boss as well. So I think she's in there. She's in the mix. So that means I've got to pick 2 legendary champions. And this is where it gets really tough. So I'm going to honorary mention Elder Skarg. I love this champion. He's super cool. He's actually got the hardest hitting ability for a single target in the game on his A2. I'm going to honorary mention Ultan, which is a shocker. Am I? You know, scrap High Katoon. Ultan's in the top 5. Ultan, the best decrease attack champion in the game for Clan Boss. He hits so hard, High Katoon's out. He hits over 100k a hit on an A1, over 100k a hit on an A2, brings you increased defense, can revive people with his passive, brings shields when he kills stuff. He's so cool. He's such a cool champion. It looks badass. He's got this big old staff thing. Yeah, Ultan's in there. Sorry, High Katoon, you're out, even though you're cool. Valkyrie's got to be in there. She's still probably the most desirable legendary in the game. She brings a mammoth shield with her A2. She makes people look silly. She makes people look silly because she throws massive shields on your team. And you think to yourself, well, yeah, does that mean she's only good for Clan Boss? No, she's really good all over the place. She's got a crazy A1 as well. She makes her very good for the arena. Dropping turn meter on a specific target. She's also got this a passive ability, which is great for arena, great for wave control in generally any content where you're going up against buffs. She's dropping, when someone buffs, she throws their turn meter back. Very, very good in arena defense. She is insane. Crazy base speed, crazy base defense, crazy base health. But Sealed of the Drakes has got to be in there because she is wicked and she's free to get. She can play anywhere. Literally anywhere in the game. Endgame Doom Tower, she's in the mix. Endgame Spider, Endgame Dragon Running, Endgame Ice Golem, in the Faction War team. In the arena, she's still good. She's not like top tier, but she's good. The only place I don't feel like she's kind of like really top tier is probably Clan Boss, but she's still not bad there. She's got this passive that heals every time she has a turn. She's got an AoE stun. We love that. It's a double hitter. Each hit, 20% chance to place a stun, up to 35. She's such a good champion. Decreased speed on her A1 as well. And she's got a revive on her A3. And the person she revives, she protects. Very cool champion. Great base defense. Such a good thing. Player input in this champion in as a free to get champion. Great move. She's insanely good. So, that's the Barbs done. Moving on. Ogryn Tribes. So, firstly, do we have any rares that need to come into the top 5 here. I think we do. Honorary mention to Ogryn Jailer. I've just built mine out. He hits so hard. Like a couple of 100k a hit. This guy is a beast. I'm going to do an updated video on this guy because I built him on my account. It's coming soon. He hits like an absolute truck. Bello has got to be in the top 5. Such a good champion. If you get him early in the game, he's going to carry you through all the content. He'll be in every team you've got. He has got block cooldown skills on an A1. What a skill that is. Don't underestimate block cooldown skills. Basically means the enemies don't get to use their abilities. Such a good A1. He's got decreased speed, weak version A2. Doesn't really matter. Decreased attack and defense, weak versions A3. Again, doesn't really matter because he hits hard. Everything's AoE. You get him in some sort of control set, like a stun set or a daze set, and he's locking up waves as well. Very, very cool. A little bit of a speed aura as well. But yeah, Bello comes in as a top 5. So, who else is in the mix? Good epics in this faction. So, we can't forget Maneater. He's so good. He's so good. He's responsible for making the clan boss look silly nowadays. He makes the clan boss look like a fool. If you've got just one Maneater and one Painkeeper, the clan boss is a joke to you. You can do Ultra Nightmare when you probably should be doing hard or brutal with the champions you've got. That's how different he is. So he's king of the unkillable teams for clan boss. He is also just generally good. Like pretty cool for Spider, decreasing turn meter, stopping the poisons landing on you with his A3, block debuff skill here. He's cool in the arena if he goes quick, puts unkillable on you. They're like, well, we're hitting you, but you're not dead. No, you're not dead because you're unkillable. He's got depletes turn meter. He's got a decreased attack, which is actually a really reliable decreased attack ability as well. It's AoE. He's top notch, top notch. So that's my second one for this faction. The third one for this faction has got to be Udo. One of my favorite epics, especially the way the game has gone. So we've got more and more waves where they're throwing out tons of buffs. I think we're going to see even more when we get to level 25 dungeons in the near future. AoE block buffs is a rare skill to have. She puts it at the same time as drop defense. What a skill. What a skill this is. 100% chance to land both if you're fighting against a full wave of enemies. What a skill. She's got a leech as well. Helps you stay alive. Basically 18% healing every time you hit anyone with leech. She's got this ability here. It's a bit random really. Removes all heal reduction from all allies. Probably unlikely that's going to come into account very much. But does give you a heal as well. But this is the cool part. If all allies are dead, revives them with 50% HP, fills their turn meters by 50% instead. That's a massive, massive revive. Was really needed for Ogryn Tribes as well. Cool passive as well. If everyone's dead, she gets block damage on her and increased speed, which gives you a better chance of getting this away. Good base stats. Great, great champion. So I've only got 2 more to pick. So we're actually going to honorary mention Skull Crusher. How's he not in the top 5? Again, because Unkillables, basically Maneater's bumped him out. Because Unkillables are so popular and so much easier to do nowadays, as long as you've got the right components, Skull Crusher gets bounced and doesn't get played at all. But he is an insane champion. AoE counterattack and unkillable on himself. It's a very, very big skill. You've got to honorary mention Occult Brawler for a high damage dealer in Clan Boss. Got to honorary mention Grush as a high damage dealer, free champion that we all love. But I need to pick a couple of legendaries here, and I'm going to pick Ignatius. Damn, this champion. He was actually the first champion that allowed me to beat Spider 20 when it wasn't easy. It's not easy now, to be fair, but he was probably the first champion in the mix that allowed people the chance. There weren't very many, maybe one other AoE HP burn champion in the game at that moment in time. And his AoE HP burn could not be resisted, still can't. It's huge. So you can spider kill with this. But I tell you what, he's the hardest hitting defense-based champion in the game. So his A2 and his A3 AoE hits hit like crazy. Put increased defense on him, give him 100% crit rate and give him some crit damage, high defense. He will smack his way through all sorts. He can also farm Nightmare Campaign. Very few champions can do it. He can do it on his own with a bit of life still set on him. So very, very great. Very cool legendary. And the last one we're going to call out is going to be Biggin. I don't have him. Basically, he's a twin of Ignatius. I gave the good abilities to these two. AoE hits on everything he does. Turn meter control, decrease speed, stuns. Notice that theme here. Anyone who's got that much control deserves to be in these top 5s. Very, very cool. Double hits, stuns, decrease accuracy, decrease speed. Great speed, great damage. He's a hard hitter. He can do Nightmare Campaign as well, solo. But yeah, generally he'll go into any wave control content and smack his way through it. Whether it's Faction Wars, Doom Tower, the Arena, any of the dungeons, he will just smack his way through the waves. Really fun champ. So, Ogryn Tribes done. Let's move on to the Lizards. The Lizards, there are no good rares in the Lizards. There's a couple which you could call out, like Bold Walker, okay, he's okay. Haruspex, yeah, he's half decent. But they're definitely not getting called out in this list. So, top 5 here. Aox. What a champion this is. I love this champion. Really great addition to the Lizardmen. Really good. A1 Poison. It's a kind of weakish chance to land, but it's pretty good utility against Dragon and against Clan Boss. He's got heal the whole team on his A2, which is pretty decent heal. He's got AoE, decrease attack, and decrease crit rate on an A3. Actually makes him decent for pretty much any content. This move here. Mainly because of the decreased attack, to be honest. This is a little bit based on turn meter. But then he's got this passive as well, which increases random debuffs on attackers. I really, really like him for Clan Boss, but he can play kind of anywhere as a good team support champion. He's also got this accuracy in Doom Tower aura. It's okay. But the Lizardmen needed more, and actually he's given them a bit more. Second one I'm going to call out, probably controversially, I think, is going to be Jared. A lot of people say to me, I don't know what you see in this epic. He actually was in my Clan Boss team even when I had Ultan. Because he brings a steady decreased attack A1, you do need to be running him with a counter-attack champion or an ally attack, or it's not enough on its own. 60% chance when booked is not enough. You need to book him if you're going to use him, or you won't have decreased attack out there enough. But this ability here, Ally Protect and Increased Defense, is a really, really strong ability. Ally Protection, Increased Defense is going to help keep your team alive, and he brings some heals as well. He's just a steady champion that will keep your team alive, especially good for Clan Boss. So 3 from the top list. This is hard. Roxanne, great champion. I need to pick 3 and I want to pick 4. So you tell you what, scrap Jared. We're going 4 legendaries here. Draco, one of the best in the game. Still one of the best in the game. At one point he was trash. They buffed him and he became godlike. AoE, decreased defense and weaken. 4-hitter poison. Massive smack on an A1. He's insane. Such a good champion. Can play in basically anywhere in the game. He can play anywhere. He's probably the best champion in the game for damage on Clan Boss. Fushan. I've got to put him in. Jared out. Fushan just got Jared just got upgraded to Fushan. AoE stun, much like Scylla the Drakes. Awesome, awesome ability. Exactly the same chance to land the stun as Scylla the Drakes if you book him. Chance to get extra hits on his A1. He hits hard. He hits really hard. People don't appreciate this guy can clean out enemies with his hits. Really good for Fire Knight, really good for wave control, and he smacks super hard. He's got a 4-hitter here. Really strong chance of placing decreased defense. Good base stats. Fushan's in there. Razin's got to be in there. What a champion this is. What a great move by Plarium for putting him as a free to obtain champion over time as a definite fusion. This guy is worth the effort for that fusion. It's frustrating when you're just looking for 1 or 2 rares to finish him off. But I tell you now, he's wicked. Such a cool champ. AoE hard hitting ability here, which drops turn meter. It's on a long cooldown. So if you're in content where, like Faction Wars, where you're kind of coming up to the next wave, you might want to slow down your damage to get this back, because it's a really good starter for a wave of enemies. He's got a single target, decrease defense and weaken, 100% chance to land it if you book him out, and he's got a triple hit and buff removal A1. It's kind of cool actually in the arena, especially good in clan boss. Great for this faction for Faction Wars. Good for boss fights where they need single target, decrease defense and weaken. I played him in my finite team for a long time, not anymore, I've got a stronger team. But he's also great for kind of like single target bosses where you don't want to do any AoE damage. And then the last one, Krisk. I mean, what a beast. Just hard carries the game. Really super strong. He's in the world record clan boss team. Not just him and his brother. 2 Krisks are in the world record clan boss team. That's over 200 million hit, by the way, for Ultra Nightmare. He's in a lot of Platinum Arena defense teams. He can carry your way through any dungeon. Hard hitting, AoE skills, decreased speed, decreased turn meter, provokes. If he gets hit, he's throwing some of the best debuffs in the game on the enemy at the same time. Massive base stats. Krisk, probably, he's one of the best champions in the game. So look, guys, that's the end of part 1. I've had to break it into 2 because it is running long. Stay tuned. Part 2 will come out tomorrow for the rest of the factions.